Respond to the question in at least 50 words. It's a difficult question because there are a lot of things considered in the score. But we'll talk about how you're scored at the end of this video. First, let's take a look at a few questions. Now remember, you are given 5 minutes to answer these questions. But for the sake of time in this video, please just pause the video yourself to answer each one. I will leave each question on the screen for just a few seconds before I start to explain them. Your question will look similar to this. You have a timer at the top that counts down, and you also see the bar decrease. Below the text box, you have a word count, and that lets you know when you've reached the required 50-word minimum. Now, when you have reached that 50 words, you can go ahead and click Next to submit your answer when you're ready. But if you do run out of time, the question will be submitted automatically. So you don't need to worry about that. The first thing you want to do is read the question thoroughly. And notice if there are multiple parts to the question. If so, make sure that you address all parts asked. This particular question is asking for my opinion. So the first thing I want to do is write a topic sentence that expresses my opinion. And this opinion statement is the most important part of this entire response. You want to make it clear. And then next, you want to explain that topic sentence. In a response that expresses your opinion, you need supporting sentences that reinforce that opinion. You want to use decisive language. So you could say, elderly drivers should take a test, or maybe you want to say elderly drivers should not take a test. Don't say, I think they should, or I don't think they should. Think is indecisive, and you want to be clear and opinionated. Then you want to end with a sentence that reinforces your belief. A good way to do this is to restate your topic sentence or your controlling idea. So here is my example. You can pause the video to read it. Okay, let's take a look at another question. Again, you can pause it if you want to answer before I go over my answers. So what is this question asking us to do? Well, this one's more of an informative question. You're being asked to share knowledge. You're not trying to convince anyone of an opinion. So you're not trying to say that one thing is better than another. In this question, the goal is to explain the topic. In this case, the topic is how climate dictates lifestyle. If you don't know what the word dictate or any other word, you can look at the context clues. In this one, we have the words climate and lifestyle. You can recognize the word life from the word lifestyle, and you can think about climate and life. You can probably guess the meaning. Now, if you can't guess the meaning of your question, you can write about how the question is confusing to you. You always want to be honest on the Duolingo test, because if you guess wrong and you write a response to something that it's not asking, then your test may not be certified. So, just like with the last question, I need a topic sentence. I'm describing how climate dictates lifestyle. So I'm going to explain my idea with supporting sentences, and then I'm going to conclude by restating my main idea. Here is my answer. You can pause this video to read my response. Okay, let's look at one more question. Pause the video for 5 minutes again if you'd like to answer the question yourself. This question is asking you to share an experience. In this case, your experience with animals. Now, sometimes you may be asked to share a different kind of experience or a memory of something. If you cannot think of a real experience that matches the question, remember this is just a writing test, so it's okay to make up an experience to write about. As with my other questions, I am going to start with a topic sentence. Now, I always like to reword the question that they're asking me because I think it makes it unmistakable exactly what it is that I'm responding to. I've seen tests get returned because they say you're not addressing the question being asked. And this is the kind of thing that I get paranoid about and I worry about. And so I've always done this as a student and it worked for me. If you have another way, it's okay too, as long as your topic sentence is clear. Your supporting information can explain the topic or it can give examples. And you do need a concluding sentence. So pause the screen to read my answer. Okay, let's talk about some takeaways. The first thing is to read the question carefully and learn what you're being asked to do. Then you really want to determine what you're being asked. If you're being asked to express an opinion or describe a situation or share some kind of personal experience, you always want to start with a clear topic sentence. And then you want to provide support and give a concluding statement that lets the reader know that you've reached the end of your paragraph and that you're wrapping up by restating your main point. My biggest tip for you is to use all the time you're given because you will not gain points by finishing ahead of time. You need to have time to write and then proofread. As you're proofreading, you can remove any sentences that seem out of place, or you can change the wording of a sentence to make sure that your writing is clear. And really, conciseness is very good. You want to write in a concise way. You also want to check your grammar, your spelling, your capitalization, and your punctuation. All right, let's take a moment to talk about all the things that can affect your score for this question type. Now, the subscores affected are production and literacy, but the study guide goes into more details and explains that all the factors that are considered are things like grammatical accuracy. Now, that is the correctness of your grammar. Is your sentence correct? Then grammatical complexity, which is the variety of sentence structures you use. Then you have lexical sophistication, and that's the level of vocabulary words you use and using those words correctly for the right situation. Lexical diversity means that you have a variety of word choices and you're not repeating the same words over and over again. Task relevance is how well you answer the question. Are you answering the question asked? Then you have fluency, and that's how much you can say or write in a given time and also stay on topic. Okay, that's it for now. I just want to take a minute to wish you all good luck on your Duolingo English test. You've got this. You've been studying. You've prepared. Let me know in the comments how you do. All right, I'll see you next time.